good to God. I appreciate the Lord, the one who made it possible for us to be alive today. Many prayed, many wished, many desired to be alive in a day like this. Today being the 15th day of this month. Many foresaw this day. Many prayed and desired this day, but they are nowhere to be found in the land of the living. I appreciate the God who brought you to this place safely. Thank him, give him praise. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Most precious Father, we thank you, we give you glory, we give you praise. I want to appreciate you for your love, for your mercies upon your children. I want to say thank you for the gift of life, for divine provisions, for divine protections, for divine security. Thank you, oh Father, for all able shareholders of SWIFTtrip, for all the ambassadors of SWIFTtrip. Thank you for our CEO and his family. Thank you for everyone here now. Thank you for those that are still on their way coming. Thank you for those that are going to participate online. Thank you, because we know that at the end of this meeting, we shall all have every cause to glorify your name. Therefore, Lord, we pray for your spirit to come upon the vessels that you are going to use to speak to us today. We pray that they speak by your spirit, by your wisdom. In the name of Jesus. Father, as we continue with us. This we pray through Jesus Christ our Lord and Savior. We declare this meeting open in the name of God the Father, in the name of God the Son, and in the name of God the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Please join me as I make welcome the personal assistant to the CEO and the international admin of SWIFTtrip. Thank you so much, sir.
Very much, sir.
Welcome, sir.
All right. Able shareholders of SWIFTtrip, I want to hear your voice as a lion that you are. Okay? Able shareholders of SWIFTtrip, we bounce right to the top. Daddy, please sit. Everybody, please sit. Thank you very much. We are so happy to be here this morning and, this afternoon. And it's a privilege to have every one of us here this morning. I want to appreciate everyone that came from far and near to grace today's event. And I want to also assure you that your coming here today will not be in vain. Why? Because that thing that you've been told, that package, that opportunity that they've sounded to you, you will get it in full package today. And you're living here today, you will live as a better person. Do you believe that? Thank you very much, sir. You're all welcome. Please put your hands together for yourself. Thank you, thank you. All right, just like I have been introduced, I am Favor Orinami Ayo, the personal assistant to the CEO and also the international admin. And by God's grace, today I will be taking us on what this business is all about. Sama, you've missed out on startup businesses. Yes, please, if you have your writing materials, come with it. Just bring it out because you'll be writing a whole lot. In case you have questions, if you have questions, please put it down. And at the end of today's presentation, you'll be given that privilege to ask your question in any area you need clarity. That answer will be given to you. Are we communicating? Thank you very much. So I was saying something that we've missed out on startup businesses. We've missed out on opportunities. You are in SWIFTtrip today to redeem yourself from those businesses you've missed out on that you are regretting today. When I'm talking about business, I'm not talking about Ponzi schemes. Because most of us, the reason why we've said nothing will ever make us venture into online business, because what we did before now, we consider them as Ponzi schemes. Should I explain better? I will. Now, what we've done before now, we are simply doing a business whereby they are saying, sir, ma, please come with your money. Then in 24 hours, in 48 hours, in 72 hours, you will get double, triple of what you're coming in with. And as greedy as we are, the CEO will always tell us that being greedy is good. Yes, and he will tell us that we have bad greed and we have good greed. The good greed is the one you will see in SWIFTtrip. One person, one company trying to own how many services? 5. And the bad one is those ones that say, no, I want to get it all for myself. You don't even want to understand, know how it is coming. That is the greed we are talking about. They say, bring your money, 10,000, 20,000 naira. In 24 hours, you will get double of that amount. You don't even want to know the services they are rendering. You say, hey, if they pay, let's put our money. What they will do is they are robbing Peter to pay Paul. Robbing Andrew to pay James. So as Peter brings his own, you bring your own. Andrew brings his own. Once they join it together, that money, that amount they promise you, is it double? They've gotten double. They will give it to you. And you go there. Hey, if they pay, he's paying. That is what they keep doing until they get to a point whereby they've accumulated the amount of money they need. And before you hear it, we're upgrading. Before you know, you will see them no more. That is Ponzi schemes. And in SWIFTtrip, we are telling you that we are dealing with pure business. And I will explain to you as we proceed. We are dealing with pure business. And why am I saying that? Because in this business we are dealing with, if transactions do not happen, you will not earn. I will not earn. It is business. Sir, if you open your shop this morning and you close by 8 p.m. tonight, if nobody patronizes you, will you make any money? But if people patronize you, will you make money? Definitely. That is business. That is business. All right, let's proceed. Let's look at the slide so that we'll know how we will flow in to this presentation. And if you can see the screen, the first page tells you, if you have no idea of what this business is, seeing this first page, it will show you or give you a glimpse that this business, this thing we call SWIFTtrip, has to do with what? Transportation. You can see the airplane, you can see the vehicle, you can see the luggages. And it is telling you this thing has to do with transportation. It has to do with movement. True or false? True. Now, please take me back to that slide again. The name itself, SWIFTtrip. SWIFTtrip tells you that this is also a transportation business. What does SWIFT mean? SWIFT simply means something that is fast. And trip, of course, we know movement. So this is already giving you an idea that what you are coming to be part of is a transportation business, and it is not just limited to transportation. There is more to SWIFTtrip than you can think or imagine. The next slide. Now, this is our presentation guide. We'll be looking in this meeting today. We'll be looking at what SWIFTtrip is all about. Of course, that's the reason why you're here today. We will also be looking at where we are as we speak, and also how our customers will benefit from this business. And lastly, how you as an owner of this business will benefit. Because for every businessman and woman, the reason why they are venturing into that business is because they want to make profit. The reason you are going into that business is because you want to know what is in it for you. And if it's something that resonates with you, you will be part of it. If it doesn't resonate with you, you will run. And we keep telling everybody that in SWIFTtrip, the best we can do is to show it to you. All we can do is all we can do, and all we can do is enough. We will show it to you. It is your decision for you to decide to be part of it or not. All right, so the question of the day is, what is SWIFTtrip? And I will first of all go in a very simple definition before I give us the complete definition. What is SWIFTtrip? I will simply tell you, for everybody to understand this, that SWIFTtrip is a transportation company that connects a passenger and a driver through what? A mobile app. In order to do what? Make that trip a success. I believe we understand that. A transportation business that connects a passenger and a driver in order to solve a mobility need through what? The mobile app that is provided to us. Now, let's go on a broader definition of what this business is. SWIFTtrip. It is a Web 3.0 decentralized mobility and commerce service providing enterprise. Commerce service providing platform. From this definition I gave just now, it has explained to us all the services we are rendering in one app. A Web 3.0 decentralized mobility and commerce service providing business. Now, I will do us a favor of breaking all of these down. Now, I will start from the Web 3.0. When we're talking about Web 3.0, this is not sometimes supposed to teach us, because if you want to get a better idea of what Web 3.0 is, go to Google. You will get a detailed breakdown of what Web 3.0 is. But I'll just help us simplify it. It is simply the new era of the internet. How many of us know WhatsApp? How many of us know Facebook? Good and fine. We all know this platform. How many of us know that there are people out there making millions, thousands from Facebook? Do we know that? If a Web 2.0 system like Facebook can pay you, can make you rich, can enrich you, how much more a Web 3.0 system? A Web 3.0, which is the new era of the internet. The speed is something else. It is not something that will be controlled by human. We are talking about something that is controlled by technologies like the AIs, the machine learning. Don't joke with Web 3.0. And we are privileged that this business will be built on the Web 3.0. which is the new era of the internet. Now, Web 3.0 being defined, now when we talk about decentralized, remember I said SWIFTtrip is a Web 3.0 decentralized. It simply means we are coming to own a decentralized platform that is not controlled by government, that is not controlled by any individual, it is not controlled by the CEO, neither is it controlled by the international admin, the financial secretary, or whomever you want to think of. What we are building is decentralized. You are the CEO of the business. You are the CEO. You are the CEO of the business. Anytime transaction happens, you don't need to put a call across. Sir, ma, admin, I haven't gotten my commission. What is happening? No. Remember I told you this happens in the speed of light. The speed is not what you can compare with. There is nothing you can compare with. Web 3.0, decentralized. It is something that you as CEO, end users like you and I have full, I'm not saying partial, I mean full access to the app. To the app. Isn't that amazing? It is. Now, let's look at the other aspect of the definition, Web 3.0 decentralized mobility. What is mobility? We all know that mobility is the movement from one place to another. Movement from point A to point B. And in SWIFTtrip, we have two kinds of mobility. That's why I say this is the good aspect of SWIFTtrip. two kinds of mobility. We have what? One, the road transport and the aviation. The air transport and the road transport. And the road transport, we refer to them as the e-taxi. And the air transport, we refer to them as the aviation. Now, when we talk about commerce, commerce simply means buying and selling. How many of us know what I mean? What they are practicing there is what's called commerce. What they are practicing at OIME, at your place, maybe anywhere you see them buying and selling, is what? Commerce. And once this is brought to the online space, it is considered as what? E-commerce. E-commerce. So these are the services we are rendering. These are the services we are what? Rendering. Sir, please, can you come to the front seat? Thank you very much, Daddy. Thank you very much, sir. You are all welcome. So, I've been able to make you understand what SWIFTtrip is all about. That SWIFTtrip is a transportation company that connects a passenger and a driver in order to make a need happen. And it is a Web 3.0 decentralized mobility and commerce service providing business. So what are the services we are rendering? If you listen to me carefully, I already made mention of the services. What are these services that we are rendering? We have 5 services. Number 1, the aviation, as you can see on the screen. Number 2, the e-taxi. Number 3, the e-commerce. Number 4, the logistics. And number 5, the hospitality business. These are the services we are rendering. Is there anyone that is new to us there? Go back, please, so they can see it. From these services, aviation, e-taxi, e-commerce, logistics, and hospitality, is there anyone that is new to us? No. So what does that tell you? It simply tells you that what we are building is not new. We are only coming to modify what has been built already. We are coming to modify what is in existence already. And like I said earlier on, how many of us missed out on opportunities, on good opportunities, like the opportunity of being an owner of a good business, like Coca-Cola, Uber, Bolt, Bitcoin. Name it, there are a whole lot of them out there. This is another opportunity that awaits everyone. Like I said, so long you can see it, that's enough. The best we can do is to show it to you. I'm just recapping for the sake of those that are just coming. Now, when we're talking about aviation, just to tell you that what we are doing is not new. We already have companies that are into the aviation. Examples are the Airpeace, the Eric. These are giants in this area of business. When we're talking about the e-taxi, we are talking about the Uber, the Bolt, the InDrive. These are giants in the market space. Then the e-commerce, we have platforms like Jumia, Alibaba, eBay, Konga, name them, whereby you go online and purchase whatever you want to purchase. You go online and sell whatever you want to sell. When we're talking about logistics, we have platforms like the Ops. We have platforms like the DHL. We have platforms like the FedEx, whereby you can move your product from one place to another without you being there presently. You can ship your product from one country to another, from one state to another. Isn't that amazing? It is. Then, when we talk about the hospitality business, which we refer to as Swift Homes, we're talking about hotels. Can you name the number of hotels we have in River State today, not to talk of the world at large? That's to tell you that the business we are doing is not something that you will need us to solve one or two maths before you understand it. It's not something new. It's something we are coming to modify. And if you look at it, if you look at those services we are rendering, we are solving a very huge problem that millions, billions of travelers faces every single day. How do I mean? Let us imagine a businessman that needs to book a late or the last minute flight. And since he or she is not ready for this person just got a call, an urgent call. Please come to so and so state or so and so country. Now, this person with one app, which is SWIFTtrip app, he has the ability to book the last minute flight. Also, in that same app, he doesn't need to stress himself on how to get a ride that will take him from the airport down to the hotel. Because all of these services are in one app. That is the power of what we are building. We are simply calling you, SARS, to come own a system. A system that will pay us consistently, repeatedly, effortlessly, and efficiently for the rest of our life. We are not building a business that will last for 50 years. We are not building a business that will last for 100 years. It's a forever business. Are you doubting me? Are you doubting me? Look at it. We came to this life, we met transportation. Our parents came to this life, they met transportation. Our forefathers came to this life, they met transportation, and they have died. They've left this life. Transportation is still in existence. You and I will die. Transportation will still be in existence. So many persons are scared of dying. Why are you scared of dying? The fact is, we are in this life. We are fighting with this life. And do you know that there is nothing we will do to win? The life will definitely win us. And when the life wins us, that is when we die. Because you cannot win the life. One day, you and I will leave this life. So what's the point of being scared of death? Live your life to the fullest every day. Because you never know when your time will come. I hope I did not scare anybody. Thank you very much, sirs. So, like I said, we are building a forever business. The only thing is, in 5 years, in 10 years from now, the way transportation is being done will be modified. It will be modified because by then we will have, in short, we already have autonomous vehicles, self-reading vehicles. This was something our parents, our forefathers did not get to enjoy. Autonomous vehicles, self-driven vehicles. You just book, you see a vehicle come to pick you. Nobody's driving it. But we can't do that in Nigeria because our network is very bad. You might just, if that thing happens to come to Nigeria, if you just carry you, they go bush. That's true. That's to tell you how backward we are. And God will liberate us. In Jesus' name. Amen. All right, so that being said, let's look at the next slide. I've said all of these things so far. And you're now asking yourself, how come I haven't seen SWIFTtrip airport? I haven't seen SWIFTtrip vehicles. Has SWIFTtrip gone live? Have they launched business? That is what you're asking. And the answer to that is no. SWIFTtrip is currently at its development/vision phase and will call for subscribers from every part of the world, wherever you are, in Nigeria, in China, Cameroon, Dubai, name it. Come, let's go own this business. Sir, I want to say this. You might be a banker, you might be a lawyer, you might be an engineer. Yes, it's good. You have the strength now. But do you know that a time will come, you will no longer have that strength to climb, is it scaffolding they call it? To climb scaffold. Do you know that a time will come, you will no longer be able to use that certificate you attain from the university to look for a job? A time will come whereby you can no longer move from Rumukrusi Junction to the next junction. What is that time? It is what we call the retirement age. The retirement age, which every one of us will definitely go through. Now the question is, how prepared are you for that age? Knowing that your certificate cannot help you, knowing that you will no longer have the strength to do things that you are doing now. How prepared are you for that age once that time comes? This is why we are calling you to come co-own a system. We are the development phase. This vision, all of these things you are saying, is not something that Honorable Richard can anchor, can do alone. That is why we are calling you. Please, let's come together and work as a team to make this thing come to reality. Even the Bible said it that where there is no vision, the people perish. Now, what I want you to note from there is the people. It simply means a vision has to do with people, not a person. That is also we are still at the vision stage. Come together, let's work as a team. Together, everyone achieve more. That is the acronym. Come together, let's build this. Let's look at the next slide. Please, if you have your question, write them down, because the privilege will be given to you to ask your question. Now, I want to quickly look at the subscription plan in SWIFTtrip. What are the subscription plan in SWIFTtrip? Now we say subscriber subscription plan, profit share slot, we regard it as what? The node slot. The profit share subscription is what? $100, and the campaign sponsorship fund is $80. Add it up together is a total of how many dollars? $180. That is the subscription fee. From that $180, $100 is the actual project fee, while $80 is for advert. It's for advert. So 80 plus 100 is how much? $180. And you coming to be an owner of SWIFTtrip, what you are buying in exchange, once you pay $180, what you're getting in exchange of $180 is what? Your ownership percentage, which is 0.000000125%. 0 in 5 places, 125%. That is what you own. You can see, we are not telling you that if you bring $180 once, as an owner of the business, you'll be earning 500 naira, 200 naira, or 1,000 naira. No, you are simply earning according to your percentage. According to your percentage. So when will SWIFTtrip go live? It is very clear. We say we'll go live at a minimum sales of 3%. The company is selling 5% of its shares. And business launch is at the sales of 3% share volume. And this 3%, how many persons will consume this 3%? It is 2,400,000 people that will consume this 3%. 2,400,000 people. That's 2.4 million people. And that 2.4 million people, it is one person to one account. One person cannot have more than one account. No. You cannot say you have enough money, you want to buy 2. You want to buy multiple accounts for yourself. Sir, it is not in SWIFTtrip. It is not in SWIFTtrip. One person to 1 unit. Now, let me quickly show us how we got 3%. Sorry, let me show us how we got 2,400,000. Remember, who can tell me your ownership of SWIFTtrip if you come in with $180? Let me go like this so that I will carry everybody along. Okay, sir. 125%. Thank you very much, sir. Please, let's put our hands together for him. Thank you. That is your ownership percentage. If you pay $180, you own 0.0 in 5 places, 125%. Please take note of that because I will still ask the question as we proceed. Now, how did we get a 2.4 million units? We simply do, since we are saying 3%, we simply do 3 divided by your volume of share, which is 0.0 in 5 places, 125%. Can we do that calculation, please? Can we do that? 3 divided by 0.00000 in 5 places, 125. Don't add percentage. Sir, did you get it? What did you get, sir? 2.4 million. Is it your first time here? Okay, sir. 2.4 million. What does that tell you? It tells you that in 3, we have 2.4 million, 0.00 in 5 places, 125 in 3%. Sorry, in 3, not in 3%. In 3, we have 0.0 in 5 places, 125 places, in 2.4 million places. Like I said, 1 person to 1 unit. Next slide. 1 person to 1 unit. Knowing that this is a global business, it's a global business. We are not building a local business. We are building a business that will operate globally. A business that will operate globally. That is why we say you are coming to own a system that will pay you for life. Our initial country of launch is in Nigeria and in the United Kingdom. In Nigeria and in the United Kingdom, this will be our first 2 countries of launch. This is a massive business. Next slide. Nigeria and in the United Kingdom. We can see our certificates. We have the CAC, we have the EFCC certificate, we also have the United Kingdom certificate. Okay? You can go back, let them see it clearly. The decision say we just quickly removed it. That's no, for the online viewers. You can see that, right? Now, next slide. What makes SWIFTtrip stand out? What makes SWIFTtrip stand out? How many of us have this question at heart? Knowing that the business we are doing is not new, you will be telling yourself, since what we are doing is not, that simply means if we launch business, we will just be competing with other people. They might not even hear of us. Right? That's what most of us will be thinking. But then, there is something. Remember I told you that these services we are rendering are not new. That is why we can refer you to Eric Airline. We can refer you to Uber. We can refer you to Jumia. We can refer you to, what is it called? Alibaba. We can refer you to logistic kind of businesses, right? It is not new. So, what is that thing that will make SWIFTtrip stand out? That Mr. A will want to patronize us and not patronize the other companies that are rendering the same service that we are rendering. Next slide. It is what we call the PYC. The PYC. How many of us have heard of the PYC before? Non-shareholders, please. Sir, have you heard of PYC before? Have you heard of PYC before? I know you've heard of PYC. Have you heard of KYC? KYC, you've heard of KYC. Have you heard of KYC? Okay, so KYC stands for Know Your Customers. And in SWIFTtrip, we are saying that it is not enough to know your customers. Give them what? PYC. We stand for Pay Your Customers. Does that make sense to you, sir? Pay your customers. What does it mean? It simply means whenever a customer patronizes the company, they earn from that patronage. They earn from that patronage whenever they patronize from the company. Daddy, I want to ask you, sir. If you patronize a company and they tell you, okay, let's use the e-taxi. You boarded a vehicle and getting to your location, they tell you, thank you, sir, for patronizing us. Or maybe, what's your name, sir? Okay, Mr. Emmanuel. I thought as much. I wanted to say Emmanuel. I want to say Mr. Emmanuel, honestly. Okay, so they say, Mr. Emmanuel, thank you for patronizing us. And you are so happy. Wow, these people are even telling me thank you. And next time you want to board the vehicle, you then say, okay, for that thank you that they told me, you will use the vehicle again. And you happen to, you search for them, you couldn't get one. Then you now book another one. And that one did not tell you thank you. They render the same service, just like the other one, and they dropped you at your location. They did not tell you thank you. The only thing you got from that ride was a cashback. Like, they dropped small money for you. They did not tell you thank you. Sir, to be honest, which one will you go for next time? Is it the one that said thank you, Mr. Emmanuel, or the one that paid you for patronizing them? Tangible. You can see. That's one of the reasons. Those people will leave the other companies that are rendering the same service that we are rendering to patronize us. And we'll say no matter how small it is, human beings, we don't joke with incentives, so at all. We don't joke with incentive. You can see, you will just buy the vehicle now. You see a driver and a passenger fighting for how much? 15 naira change. Is it that they can't afford it? No. 15 naira. It has happened countless times. But that incentive is very important to that man or that woman, to that driver. So nobody won't leave out for anybody. Incentive is very powerful. That is one of our selling points that will make Mr. A patronize us and not patronize the other company. So, do you think the PYC is a good one? The PYC and the KYC, which will you prefer? PYC. And we are the first company worldwide, to introduce the PYC. Please put your hands together for SWIFTtrip. The first company in Nigeria, in China, Cameroon, name it, all parts of the world, to consider their customers and put them on payrolls. And we are boldly telling all business owners out there that if they do not put their customers on payroll, they will fizzle out in less than no time. They will fizzle out because they will lose their customers to those ones that are doing the PYC, just like our daddy said. So if you're listening to me, you're a business owner out there, you better start thinking of how to implement the PYC. If not, you will lose them to those companies that are dealing with the PYC. Now, we want to quickly look at how this PYC will work. Just like I said to Daddy Emmanuel, and I want to stand here on the screen. I believe you can all see me. Thank you very much. Let's imagine, we've not launched business, right? Now, let's imagine a transaction happens in Nigeria. This is a global business, but we have Nigerians here, so I just want to talk about the Naira. A trip happened in Nigeria, and we know that this trip varies depending on the distance. The price varies, rather, depending on the distance covered. from here to, what is it called? Rumokrusi? No. From here to Eleme Junction could be 200 or 150. Then from, let's say, Rumola to the same Eleme Junction, going to be the same price, true or false? So that's how SWIFTtrip will be as well. The price varies. Now let's imagine a transaction happens in Nigeria, and that transaction costs this passenger. What are we looking at now? We're looking at PYC, how this PYC will work. That transaction costs this passenger, let's say, 10,000 naira. Now, that 10,000 naira that this passenger will pay, either by cash or transfer, the company considers what? As 100%. And we are seeing our customers as profit generators, because in the real sense, they are the profit generators. And I keep saying this, that as a business owner, as a CEO, as an owner of a business, if you are paying your workers, it is time to make sure those people that are patronizing you are being paid, because they are very important. Do you know why? Daddy, without that customer patronizing you, you will have nothing. You will have no money to pay your workers. True or false? So that is why we consider them as profit generators. So, back to the screen. 100% for that 10,000 that was paid. Let's look at how this 100% will be distributed to everybody, including you and I, that are shareholders of this business. So, you can see this box, the house here. That's the platform provider. And who is the platform provider? The company. From my definition earlier on, I said SWIFTtrip is a Web 3.0 decentralized mobility and commerce service providing business. It simply tells you that the service provider is who? The driver. The seller is the service provider, while the company is the platform provider. We have provided the platform, which is the mobile app, that enables you to meet the driver, and also that enables the driver to meet the passenger. That is the app. Without that app, that connection cannot be there. So, 10% goes to the platform provider. What is it used for? It is used for global expansion. I said this business is not a local business. We'll be launching in various countries. So this 10% is what will be used for those, for the launch of business in various countries. Because the CEO will not call you to say, sir, Mr. Emmanuel, you are not a shareholder of SWIFTtrip. We need you to bring 2 million or 10 million for us to launch business in so and so country. No. The 10% will take care of all of those. All of that. Now, 10%, my slide, please. 10%. How many percent do we have left from the 100%? 90%. From that 90%, 5% goes to the shareholders, the pioneers, the subscribers, whichever word I use, it means the same thing. Co-owners. 5% goes to the shareholders. Remember, how many percent did I tell you the company is selling? 5. And 3% is used for, we'll be launching at the sales of at least 3%. Okay? So 5% goes to the shareholders of this business. 5% plus 10% is how many percent? 15%. How many percent do we have left? From the 100. This is 10% plus 5. 10 minus, okay, 100 minus 10 is how many percent? 90. 90 minus 5? 85. Now, from that 85% that is left, 80% goes to the driver, who is the service provider. Like I said earlier on, the driver is the service provider. And you'll be asking, me, I'm a shareholder, I'm getting... Why are the shareholders getting 5%? Because even you as a shareholder, you're not even getting up to 5%. You're simply earning according to what? I want to get the answers from the crowd. You're earning according to what? Your shares, your ownership percentage. Are we following up? Am I too fast? Thank you very much. So you are earning according to your percentage. Now, 80% goes to one man who is the service provider. We say, this man is getting the lion's share of the percentage. Why now? Now, this man will have to service his car. This man will have to fuel his car. This man will have to maintain his car. While you are sleeping at night, this man is on the road trying to meet a passenger so that you and I can earn. So you can see the reason why this man is getting the lion's share. And in SWIFTtrip, there is a way it's programmed. Every week, these drivers will make sure they snap both the interior, the exterior of the vehicle. Because there is no way a SWIFTtrip vehicle will come and pick you with a batch car. A SWIFTtrip driver will come and pick you with a batch car. No. On Thursday, I went to my mom's place. I boarded I booked a ride. I saw the ride on the app, looking very fine. But when this ride came to pick me, I was ashamed to even enter the ride. I was like, God. I said, thank God for SWIFTtrip. This car was, I was even ashamed to go park, to tell them to park in front of. Oh, God. But thank God for SWIFTtrip, because such things will not be tolerated. So you can see that this man needs a lot to maintain his car. So now, 80% plus 10% is how many percent? 90% plus 5%. 95%. Now, this is where the PYC comes in. This profit generator who booked the ride gets what? 2% cashback of 10,000 naira. 2% of 10,000 naira goes back to the profit generator. That is the PYC. Daddy, that is the PYC. That's the PYC we're talking about. Instead of saying thank you, they say, please, have 2% of that money you paid. So we are coming to make the abnormal to become normal. That a passenger will book a ride, and after paying for that ride, you'll be asking for your money, your 2% back. What you're asking for is not change. You're asking for payment. I've paid you now, or you pay me back. I've paid you, sir. Pay me back. And there is one thing with this PYC we are doing now. We've stopped a very bad habit that we see today in the e-taxi business. When I boarded that vehicle, the man told me, okay, we should go offline so that I will pay him so and so amount. I smiled. I said, okay. I did so. But in SWIFTtrip, that cannot work. Because, my slide. Because this man needs his commission. If you go offline, this man will not earn. True of us. So this man, he's saying, allow you. You see this one, I'm not going offline. I need that percentage. If he goes offline, it shows that, okay, maybe you cancel the ride or nothing happened. But because this man need his incentive, this man will say, no, let's go online. No matter the amount, I will pay. All right, so 95% plus 2% is how many percent? 97%. Now, next slide. Next slide. Next. All right. Now, we have how many percent left? 3. So are you following me? 3%. I believe you are following me there. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now, 3% is left. 1% goes to the first generation of that passenger who booked the ride. 1% goes to the first generation of the passenger who booked the ride. And in SWIFTtrip, you earn up to your 4th generation. From your 2nd generation, you are getting 0.3%. From the 3rd and 4th generation, you are getting 0.1% respectively. So if you add this, plus 0.3, plus 0.1, plus 0.1, is a total of how many percent? 1.5. Why is only one person speaking? It's a total of 100%. 1.5. Now, the same thing goes to the driver's customer chain. 1% for first generation, 0.3% for second generation, 0.1% and 0.1% for third and fourth generation. Add it up is a total of 1.5%. Now, 1.5% plus 1.5% is 3%. 3% plus 97% is how many percent? 100%. That is how everybody ends. And the same thing goes for all of our services: the aviation, the logistics, the e-commerce, and the hospitality business. Please, let's put our hands together for SWIFTtrip. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, I haven't said all of these. Who is the brain behind SWIFTtrip? Sir, can you guess? Where do you think the man is from? A white man, right? No idea. But for you, where do you think this man will come from? The man that has this kind of vision. Most of us will think that he is from Europe, from the white country, from China. But then, let's look at the amazing country that this man is from. If you see the man, you will know the country is from. Please, the next slide. Bam. China, right? Is it from China? Our own. Please, let's put our hands together for that. Thank you. This one is our own. Honorable Richard Nnadi. From where? Enugu State. Udi, to be precise. He is the founder and the CEO of SWIFTtrip, the one. And we are so happy that he decided to take or to be the visionary of this business. Because if he had said no, maybe you and I won't have the opportunity. Because if he said no, God will look for another person that will say yes. And we'll always pray for divine wisdom upon him. And this business will come to actualization. Amen. Thank you very much, sir, for being the founder and the CEO of SWIFTtrip. We really appreciate. So we want to quickly look at the next one, which says how you profit as a subscriber of this business. This is the important part. This is the part that Mr. Emmanuel wants to know. Right? How you will profit. In short, this is the reason why he's here today. How are you going to, what's your name, sir? Mr. Victor. This is also the reason why Mr. Victor and every one of us seated here today. Welcome, sir. This is the reason why we are here. How will I benefit from this business? Next slide. How will I benefit as an owner, as a subscriber? Now, remember, this business is a global business. We will still imagine that we've launched business. Knowing fully well that we've not launched business, but we want to imagine that we've launched business. And this business happens in Nigeria or in America. And the one that happens in Nigeria costs how much? 8,000 naira. Like I said earlier on, trip will be charged depending on the distance. So the one that happened in Nigeria, for instance, cost 8,000 naira. Then the one that happened in America, the United States, cost what? $10. Let's look at what Mr. Victor and every one of us here, we earn as a shareholder of SWIFTtrip. As someone who came in with $180, what will I earn from this one trip that happened in Nigeria? From this one trip that happens in Nigeria. And I want us to press our calculator. Are we ready? Now, we simply do 8,000 naira. We are calculating in naira now. 8,000 naira multiply by your ownership percentage. Remember, I said you're earning according to your percentage. 8,000 naira multiplied by your ownership percentage. This is one trip that happened, though. Are we aware? So this one trip that happened that cost 8,000 naira multiplied by your ownership percentage, 0.0 in 5 places, 125%. What did we get? I want us to press our calculator. Please, can the staff help us check? 8,000 naira multiplied by 0.0 in 5 places, 125%. What did we get? Sir, what did you get? How many zeros? Thank you. 0.0001 kobo. Sorry? 0.1. Did you add percentage? Add percentage on that 0.085. Okay. Now, this is what you earn from that trip. Is that not amazing? You said it's amazing. That wasn't the answer I'm expecting. Now, look at it. You came in with $280, and one trip happened. You earned 0.0001 kobo. Let's bring it to reality that you work from morning till night, and they paid you 0.001 kobo. What will you do with it? You'll be so excited, right? Nobody wants to answer me again. Oh, good. That is the difference of owning a system. And assuming somebody said this is very small, which I know Mr. Victor, Mr. Emmanuel is still saying is very small. Please, let me have the slide, full slide. Full back. Okay. Now, 0.0 in 3 places, 1 kobo. That is what you earn as a node holder. Now, this person, this transaction that happened outside the country, if you do $10 multiplied by this ownership percentage, this is what you will get. 0.0 in 6 places, 125 cents. How long can you accumulate this? If you are working physically to earn this. That's the power of owning a system. Now, let's quickly look at how this cent, this kobo we've shown to you can become millions, billions, and trillions of dollars. That is what we want to look at now. Now, let's go to 5 years. 5 years after the launch of business. Knowing that this business is a business that will not lack patronage. This business, transportation business, is a business that will not lack patronage. Even COVID-19, which is the greatest pandemic that I know has ever happened to us, did not entirely shut down transportation. True or false? Because once there is lockdown in China, in Dubai, there is movement. When there is lockdown in Dubai, in Cameroon, there is movement. So it did not totally shut down movement in the world. So that's to tell you the power of what you are coming into. You are simply positioning yourself to be or to earn even more like Obasanjo. Do we know that Obasanjo is an owner of MTN? Telecommunication. And do you also know that MTN is not a global business? It's not it's an African business. And funny enough, it's not all Africans that even make use of MTN. But do you know that he earns according to his percentage whenever you and I recharge our phone? If we recharge 100 naira, 200 naira, 500 naira, it does not matter how many times we do that recharge card per day. It does not matter. It just keeps earning according to its percentage. If you and I subscribe data by data, he earns from that. And Google has it that it makes how much? 45 million naira every day. Yes, every day. Imagine the power of what? Volume. For a business that is not global, how much more a transportation business that is global? Is there any country in the world today that doesn't make use of transportation? Is there any country in the world that don't do buying and selling? No. That is why I want to quickly look at how cents, kobo, can become millions and billions of dollars. Because we say SWIFTtrip is going to make you a trillionaire in dollars, whether you believe it or not. Now, still on our imagination, we are still sticking, or we are still using the same figure we use, 8,000 naira and $10. For one trip that happened, we used 8,000 naira. For one trip that happened also, we used $10. So, we are looking at 5 years, sir. How much will you earn 5 years after we say SWIFTtrip has launched business? How much will you earn? What will your profit be after we say SWIFTtrip has launched business in the space of 5 years? And we are telling you, we are looking at a worst case scenario here, telling you that in 5 years after the launch of business, if we did not perform trips at all, we are looking at 50 trillion trips. For a worst case scenario, 50 trillion trips. Because we are so sure that after the launch of business, we must have performed, 5 years, we must have performed millions of trillions of trips. Billions of trillions of trips. Trillions of trillions of trips. But then we are doing tens of trillions of trips. And that is why we are getting, or we are using 50 trillion trips. 50 is 50 and 12 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you're adding this other zero, it's 5 and 13 zeros to give us 50 trillion. So, we are also saying that all of these 50 trillion trips that happen cost 8,000 naira. Is it possible? It's not possible. All the trips that happen in Nigeria, Cameroon, China, all of them cost 8,000 naira. No. It's not possible. Because trip will vary. Yes. But because if we start using different figures now, we won't get a better calculation. That is why we just want to hold it to 8,000 naira or $10. Right? Now, we simply do we know how we got this 0.0 in 3 places 1 kobo? Okay, we have from that first calculation we did, that one trip that happened. So if one trip is giving us this, now we multiply this by 50 trillion trips. If you do that multiplication, what are you going to get? No. Let's do it so we'll know what we get. We do 0.0 in 3 places 1 kobo multiply by 50 trillion. By 50 trillion trips. Let's see what we will get. 0.000 multiplied by 50 trillion trips. Has anyone gotten it? 0.301 multiplied by 50 trillion. 50 trillion is 50 and 12 zeros. Sorry? That is 5 billion naira. 5,000 has how many zeros? 3 zeros. 5 million have how many zeros? 5 billion has how many zeros? 9 zeros. So what you are getting there is 5 billion naira. For a business you came in with how much? $180. Because of the power of volume, you can see how your profit has appreciated. This is just for 5 years. And if we do the calculation of the dollars, we simply do 0.0 in 6 places, 125, multiplied by 50 trillion. If we do that, we will get $6,250,000,000. 6.25 million. $6,250,000, right? 6.25 million. That's the power of owning a system. This is already more than what Obasanjo is earning. Let's come together and build this. This is our time to build something that the world will see and say, Oga, sir, how did you know that it will work? And the only thing you can tell them is, my brother, I just followed foolishly. I just followed sheepishly. I no, I just say my follow. Why? I've missed out on opportunities before. Because even the mandate, when it was very cheap, for $10, he said no, they want to scam him. They want to scam him of $10. How much is $10 today? I think 15,000 naira or thereabout. Today, when the economy is rough, $10. Now, we ask, who scammed who? Of course, the man scammed himself, because any day that man sees Coca-Cola bottle, he will always be filled with regret. If I had known, had I known? Had I known? Now, the thing is, will anyone miss out on SWIFTtrip? A whole lot will miss out on SWIFTtrip. But my prayer, and our prayer, that it shouldn't be you that heard it. Some people will miss, they'll say, I heard the CEO when he was on stage talking about this business that we should come. But then I was very careful. Because people will definitely, millions of people will miss out on SWIFTtrip. My prayer, once again, is that it shouldn't be you. Because can you imagine owning a system as powerful as this? This analysis I made here now, it is just from one service. Just from e-taxi. Did you see me calculate for aviation? Did you see me calculate for e-commerce or logistics or hospitality? This is just e-taxi, and you're getting this. By the time you add all of these services together, can you think of how much you'll be making? And this service we are talking about now, this e-taxi, it is not even the highest. It is not aviation that gives the highest money. If you check the market cap of aviation, check the market cap of e-taxi, check that of e-commerce, logistics, and hotel, you will see that the one that has the major profit is the e-commerce business. You can't compare with what you're seeing on the screen. The buying and selling. And we've not done any calculation as to that. That is why we say, do not miss SWIFTtrip. Look at the next slide. It shows you how a business you came in with $180 has yielded for you 5 billion naira or $6,250,000. With what? Your ownership percentage of 0.05 places 1 to 5. This does not change. This is constant. This is what you're earning. For a trip that costs 2,000 naira, you're simply earning according to that percentage. For a trip that costs 100,000, see, SWIFTtrip will be doing both interstate and intrastate transportation. Is it something? Have you imagined an aviation, an airplane that is carrying how many persons? As they are boarding the aeroplane, as they are boarding that flight, you are simply earning as a shareholder of SWIFTtrip. Don't miss out on SWIFTtrip, because SWIFTtrip is the next slide. SWIFTtrip will make you a trillionaire in dollars. How many of us want to be a trillionaire in dollars? Thank you. So we are on the same page. Please put your hands together for yourself. All right, let's look at the next slide. What will be my role as a subscriber in the movement leading up to the launch of SWIFTtrip? Now that we've not launched business, what will I be doing? What will I be doing now that we are awaiting the launch of business? And it's Clearly stated on the screen. It said, become an active campaigner, earn big from SWIFTtrip campaign pool fund. And how is that? Next slide. Subscribers sponsorship plan, profit share slot, which is the node slot. If you watch the earlier one, I've shown something like this, right? That first one you saw, this border, profit share subscription, was bigger than this other border. This one was smaller. Now, this one, like I said, this is the project fee. This is advert bonus. This plus this gives us what? This. Now, we are not talking about this one. That's why this one is bigger. The other time we were talking about the subscription fee, right? Now, $80 is the sponsorship fund, campaign sponsorship fund. Remember, the same ownership percentage. Now, let's look at the next slide. Next slide. Now, SWIFTtrip campaign sponsorship pool fund is what? $191,200,000. This is what is available for you and I to come fetch from. Do you want to fetch with a cup? Do you want to fetch with butter? Do you want to fetch with GP tank? It's left for you. And how do we do this? By talking to people. There are people you know that I don't know. There are people you know that I don't know. Sir, there are people you know that I don't know. And without you, I can't reach out to them. That is why we say we should come together and build this business. Next slide. Let's come together and build this business, because for every person you talk to and they register, you earn awesomely. Why? Because SWIFTtrip advert, SWIFTtrip campaign pays. How you earn as a campaigner from SWIFTtrip campaign sponsorship pool fund. The only thing you and I came to this life with is our voice. True or false? And why do we just want to sit down without using that thing, that voice that we came to this life with, to make ourselves great? With your voice, there are no women here, but these days both men and women gossip. Oh God. We'll talk about things that are not really, things that will not really help us. If we channel that voice to talk about SWIFTtrip, to talk to people, to help people about SWIFTtrip, to talk to people about SWIFTtrip, you will see that as you are talking with your voice, your pocket, you're enriching your pocket. Because for one person you talk to, do you know how much you earn? You earn $50. The screen, please. For one person you talk to, you earn $50. If this person, if Mr. Emmanuel talked to Mr. Stephen and Mr. Stephen registers, Mr. Emmanuel gets $50. If Mr. Stephen talks to Mr. Victor and Mr. Victor registers, Mr. Victor will get $50. Then Mr. Emmanuel will get $15. If Mr. Victor talks to another person, it goes like that. Then it simply means from Mr. Emmanuel's third generation, he is earning $10. From his fourth generation, he is earning $5. This is his direct work. This was the person he talked to with his effort, and he earns what? $50. Now, these people, he did not talk to them, but the people he registered, maybe the person he registered talked to someone, and at the comfort of wherever he is, he earns. That is why if you're building your team, make sure you tell them or teach them how to campaign. Because a time will come, those chains, those people under you, directly or indirectly, will bring a lot of money for you when we've launched business. Because from every patronage they make, they are simply earning according to what I showed you earlier on. That time I was talking about first generation, second, third, and fourth generation from the PYC. 1%, 0.3%, 0.1, and 0.1. Do you remember that part? They simply will continue to earn like that for life whenever they patronize the company. That's why we say SWIFTtrip, you earn up to your 4th generation. So that is why I also say that it is left for you to know what you want to fetch from that $191,200,000 that is available in this campaign period. Do you want to fetch with COP? Do you want to fetch with GP tank? No, I'm looking for the one that is bigger than GP tank. What? The hose. Okay, hose. Oh. So there is no limit. Nobody is telling you that if you earn up to this one, don't earn again. No. And do you also know that that $80 to be paid is not negotiable? It's something you must pay. You cannot say, okay, no, keep I want to pay only $100. I will not talk to anybody about SWIFTtrip. Sir, you're doing yourself because it is not possible. If you are paying $180. It is not negotiable. So you are paying for the campaign bonus. So why don't you campaign? I believe this will help every one of us. Now, it has not ended there. We have this other aspect. Extra campaign cash award. If you are able to activate 50 persons directly under you, 1st generation, if you're able to activate 50 persons directly under you, the company do what? Appreciate you with $50. Telling you, thank you. Now, from these 50 persons now, remember you're already earning $50 from them, right? All these people now, your 1st generation, you're already earning $50. Then the company will then appreciate you again with another $50. And you are then considered the face of, SWIFTtrip runner. SWIFTtrip runner. And you go ahead. Mr. Uche said, okay, no, I want to talk to more persons. You started at 50, 51, 52, 53, and Mr. Uche is able to get 500 persons directly under him. The company consider him as SWIFTtrip icon and then appreciate him with $1,000. And Mr. Charles said, no, I want to continue to talk to more persons. And Mr. Charles said 500, 501, 502, and he talked and he was able to register 5,000 persons directly under him. The company appreciates him with $10,000, and he is considered the face of SWIFTtrip. How amazing. That is why I am telling you that if you are serious about SWIFTtrip, you will build your estate even now that we are at the vision stage. If you can be serious with it. Sometimes we go to the view center, we talk about sports. Sports that when you do everything, they don't pay you. But we can talk, analyze for the whole day. If you put that strength to talk to 1, 2, 3, 4 persons about SWIFTtrip every day, you will see that you're making impact in your life. And there's a way you will make this money. You begin to select your friend. Because it's not everybody that can come close to you. And we will always tell you, don't go discuss this with your friend because they are the first. Don't go discuss SWIFTtrip with your friends because they will be the very first person to discourage you. They will be the very first person to discourage you. I say, you that I know that, okay, they will even ask you, you are telling me to come and invest with $180. They will ask you, sir, what did you chop yesterday? You tell them Gary, maybe the same people that saw you drank Gary yesterday to bed. And you're telling them to come and invest with $180. That it will make them trillionaires in dollars. Now they will spoil everything. They will even tell you, sir, carry your money. Oh. Go talk to strangers. You see this CEO you're seeing today, no friend. He campaigned about SWIFTtrip. Sweat. And we are all aware, and I do tell us the story. We met strangers on the road. We met strangers on the road. We did not go to say, okay, I know this person. Even this is my direct downline. He's a family friend. When I told him, do you know what he said? He did not tell me that, though, but in his mind, he said, let me just save this boy. How much did they register with them? 10,000 naira. Yes, this thing you're seeing that is selling for $180 today, it was once sold for 5,000 naira. It was sold for 10,000 naira. Before it became $180, it was sold for what? 80,000 naira. He said he just want to help me. Even when I told him, he said, I told him, oh, I come for the seminar. He has registered, I come for the seminar for where he's a very busy person. So one day he came, and when he came, he heard, he listened, he saw, and he was convinced. So there are people I told about SWIFTtrip, my close associates. They say, I beg, even till today. You can read what is on the screen. Honorable Richard is a Nigerian entrepreneur and philanthropist, best known as the CEO and founder of SWIFTtrip, a company aiming to redefine the traveling industry by seamlessly integrating travel, logistics, hospitality, and technologies. His entrepreneurial journey began at 18, leading to the establishment of SwiftBiz Transport Limited in 2019, an online platform that evolved into SWIFTtrip Technologies Limited. There was a time he said that he was it at a marketplace, and he saw people. He asked himself, what can he do to connect these people together? That all of these people will earn from each other. I don't really know how he placed the statement. That is to tell you that this, he did not just wake up one morning. It is something that has been there. Perseverance breaketh what? Resistance. Come together, let's build this. People will doubt you. People will say no, no, no. People will say no. But then you don't have to give up. It is how well you work. As you persevere, you keep talking about SWIFTtrip. That is when they will know that what you're saying really makes sense. Thank you very much. Let's see the next slide. Don't miss SWIFTtrip profit share offer. We've come to the end of this presentation. 2 hours, 23 minutes. I was aiming 2 o'clock. I used extra 23 minutes. All right. We say subscribe now, and if you're making your payment, make your payments to SWIFTIFY Technologies LTD, FCMB. We have the Nigerian account. We have the USD, the pounds, the euro. So if you're making a payment, you simply make your payments to these account details. You go to the website. Once you go to the website, you pay $80 to either of these accounts. So if you're paying to the Nigerian account, you will see if you go to the website. I don't know, can we log into the website? Okay, let me do that from my system, so that we will see what we're talking about. Okay, this is Telegram. Use this. Just a minute. It's not connected. So if you have questions, please don't forget, we'll also be attending to questions. Okay. All right, so just help me scroll up. Okay. Can we have it on the screen? All right, scroll up. There's my cursor. Okay. All right. So you can see on the screen, like I said, if you want to make your payment $80, you can see here. You simply go to the website and you see this place, USD inflow, 1,568 Naira. This changes every day. Tomorrow now you might come, it might be 1,560. Tomorrow it might be 1,200, whatever it may be. So now I simply do this, whatever you're seeing for that day, multiply by this. Can someone do the multiplication for me, please? Can someone do the 1,568 multiplied by $180? Can someone do it for me, please? Let's look at what the node slot is today. I think I have my phone with me. 282,240. That is what the person will pay to the Nigerian account. I don't know if you understand. You multiply this USD inflow by $180. If you want to pay, okay, you can see the account numbers here. If you're paying through crypto, that's the wallet, USTRC20. Okay, so I believe that's understood. Thank you very much. So you can put a slide for me. Am I done? Okay, I think the slide, please. My phone, sorry. I also want to talk about what you do. Okay, this is it. Now, once you've made your payment to the company's account, what you will do is you will send that proof of payment. It's very important. Send the proof of payment to your sponsor. Who is your sponsor? That person that told you about SWIFTtrip. That person that brought you here today. That person that you viewed it on his or her status. That person is your sponsor. Once you do that, you send the proof of payment to the person and also send your name, your phone number, and your email to the person. Those are the details needed for your registration. And we have hub admin in River State here. So the person will either chat the hub admin. The number is not on the screen here. The hub admin, we have a hub admin in River State, or you chat the international admin, 08, okay, no, back. 080-666-95332. That's international admin. If there is, to the online viewers, if there is no hub admin in your state, you do well to chat the international admin, because we have hub admin in Enugu, in Abakaliki, in Edo, in Lagos, in Abuja, in Italy, in France, in Germany, in USA, and so many that I can't remember. So just try to reach out or contact this international admin, and they will guide you on how to do your registration. If you want to know if there's a hub admin in your state, contact the international admin, and you'll be directed on what to do. So the next slide. All right, this is the last slide. We say ticket booking at the headquarters event every Saturday to gain access with your VIP ticket. I believe every one of us here came in with we were allowed to come in after showing them ticket, right? Okay, so for you to book next week, send your name to either of these numbers. And please, if you're coming next week, don't come alone. Somebody brought you here, so you yourself, come with someone. That person you would want to share this business idea with. Come with that person. You send your names, your full name. Don't forget to send your name as well to 090-3211-9017 or 08136679305. Invite friends, and advert bonuses as they register. All right, so thank you very much, and let's put our hands together for the awesome presentation. I want to say thank you to every one of us that stayed through to the end of this presentation, and those of us that came very early, Mr. Emmanuel and everyone here, I want to appreciate you. So it's time for question. It's time for question. How many of us have questions? Do we have questions? Do we have questions? Okay, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
For the wholesome presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Like father, like son. Thank you, sir. My question is on the registration.
Okay.
I saw an array of means of registration. Euro, USD, and so on. With the SWIFT codes. I hope the SWIFT I'm seeing there is not SWIFTtrip. Please, can you go back there?
Go back, please. No. Okay.
Aha. I'm seeing SWIFT.
Code.
I'm seeing FCMB. I